Bernie.
All right, it's 8 a.m. We'll call the park board meeting to order. Paul,
Present.
Dean,
Here.
Dustin,
Here.
Bernie,
Here.
okay. Neil,
Here.
Courtney's here, Corey.
Here.
All right. Amanda Ingolstad's also here. First of all, everybody have a chance to review the agenda, and are there any additions or changes?
I think we have to add the John Deere tractor lease on this.
Oh, I thought that was getting added. Okay. All right, we will add that at the end.
And I would like to have the old crow's nest, where the people from Bowman would like it.
Okay. Anything else?
I move to approve as amended.
Okay, there's a motion to approve the agenda with the addition of the tractor lease and the old crow's nest. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Pose same sign. All right. Everybody have a chance to review the minutes of the last meeting, and if so, are there any changes or corrections or additions to those minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, we have a motion by Corey to approve the minutes of the January 6th meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. All right, those are approved. Bills for approval. First from the general fund, looks like a total of $262.88. You just kind of want to talk about those, that Lisa usually tells us, gives us more detail on them. I don't know anything about a motorsports park publication, fairgrounds pest control. Anybody have any information about those?
Pest control is a common, it's on there every month.
I'd move to approve.
Is the
The-
park publication just an ad that was
The
run?
the
for-
ad that we ran for those bids.
Okay,
Yeah, I'd move to approve in the amount of $262.88 out of the general fund.
okay.
I'll second.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, we'll do a roll call vote. Paul,
Aye.
Dean,
Aye.
Dustin,
Aye.
Bernie,
Aye.
Neil,
Aye.
chair votes aye. Corey?
Aye.
All right, those pass in a total of 262.88. Moving on to special project fund, total is $58,863. The majority of that is from twos, the livestock building. I'm guessing that's some kind of change order. We also have Magnum Electric for some light poles that were installed, and Dickinson Parks and Rec for half the cost share for the trail grant application.
Yeah, yeah. So the twos billing is progress billing,
Okay.
and then the light poles, was moving from the old arena to the new practice arena.
Okay,
So that Magnum Electric, that invoice was dated 9/30 of 25.
Yeah, it evidently got crossed. It did not get to us until like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
so they were actually able to
Thank you.
reuse those. They just
Right.
dug them up. Okay.
So I'll make a motion to approve, let me get to it here. $58,863 for the three invoices.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Paul?
Aye.
Dean?
Aye.
Dustin?
Aye.
Bernie?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
Courtney votes aye. Corey?
Aye.
All right, that passes. Okay, first thing I have is for I guess, new or old business. We gotta start to separate that out. 4-H presentation? We can,
We can
we can shuffle you around too if you wanna wait. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, we gotta wait till 8:30 for the
Right.
bid opening. Parks Department Structure and Review Report. So is that's,
Well, you can certainly do that as well, but this one was the recommendation of the position, I believe, in the handout, so.
yeah, well, there's also Parks and Event Coordinator and
Yeah.
Parks. I think they're
Why
kind
don't we get a
of one and the
livestock
same.
building update, Jane? Come on.
Just a little update on the building, where we're at right now. We have erected the second building. The roof is on that structure. And we have moved into the first building to install the louvers in the openings and address a peak condition from inside. So progress is moving along. Met on site with the electricians yesterday. And they anticipate getting a good start here at the end of the month on the electrical inside the building. There were some questions brought up from the electrician regarding how we intend to protect the inside of the walls with any kind of piping or, and I told him basically all of his conduit would be surface mounted, and then we'd have some sort of way of protecting that around the interior of the building eventually. And those are all up for decisions and discussions. So pretty quick update on progress. Things are moving along nicely.
I have one question. I know a couple months back we were having discussions on the stalls on the roof peak, the pitch. Did that get addressed? I don't remember. Or were they bringing I think it was a sunlight issue or heating up or?
Oh, on the side so that the sun,
I think it was a pitch of the roof coming out an extra so many feet
the overhang.
on the,
You remember what we did there? I know it was addressed and satisfied to,
I do know we have an overhang on this building.
on the outside,
On the outside of the building. Not much of one,
not
but
where the outside stables. I think it was a discussion.
the
of.
second building.
the second building, right? The building was designed with, I think, a 2-foot overhang from the main columns. I do know that much, but anything additionally, I'm not very aware of.
Okay, because I think there was some discussion on the height, right? And
Yeah.
and keeping the height and then the overhang, and I thought there was gonna be some return feedback on the additional cost or,
I'd have to go through my notes.
Okay.
I don't remember.
I can visit with Tracy. That's a little bit prior to my full involvement, but
So-
I'll get up to speed and see if I can't email you guys an update regarding that.
Yep.
What are we proposing for a liner panel inside that building to protect that
No,
wiring?
at
or-
one point there was, they thought the sun would affect the animals underneath the roof. And so we talked about that, and at one point there was talking about like putting a 2-foot perimeter around, and I know we stayed away, went away from that because the concerns were addressed that it would probably not be an issue.
It is an open-air building.
Yeah.
And I would say you'll have plenty of ventilation with the design of the building. But if that poses a problem in the future, of course, we can always visit it, you know.
I think the discussion centered around making sure we could get a skid steer in there.
Yeah,
But still provide as much shade as we could. So
Right.
yeah.
I remember I left the roof line where it was, but added the 2-foot overhang to get more shade.
Yeah, and instead of shortening the building.
Right.
Yeah, as it sits right now, I'd say you're gonna have no issues getting trailers and skid steers in and out of there. Of course, that's all dependent on how we final grade it, but we have a lot of room to work with there. That's all I got for an update, unless anybody has any other questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so do you want to go back to 4-H? Okay, and then we'll go back to Parks Department Structure.
Okay. Hello, I'm Bridget Bullinger. I'm the president of the Stark Billings 4-H Council. DL is here and Kurt is here today, so we can help entertain questions. What DL is passing out is a packet. The Stark Billings County 4-H Executive Committee met last month, and we wanted to kind of kick off the outfitting, as we would call it, of the buildings that have been put up at the fairgrounds, specifically with livestock fixtures. We've talked about this previously and helping make sure that the small parts that are needed to host in this big building are available, not just for us, but for others that might want to have events out there. So currently, the Stark Billings County 4-H Executive Council owns all of the things that are on in this memorandum of understanding on the last page. It's not completely inclusive, but these are kind of what we're talking about. But we would like to donate to you essentially to the park board, so from 4-H Executive Council to the Stark County Park Board, all of like these pens and panels. So what these are is the pens and panels that we use to contain or keep our small livestock. So that would be like pigs, goats, sheep, whatever. They are super high quality, really easy to use. We've had them for quite a few years, but we would like to donate those so that if other people want to have like a pig and lamb sale, or if they want to have other events out there, that they would be able to contact one person at one place, which would be through the county, instead of having to go to multiple different stakeholders to accomplish this. So these particular gray ones are about $86,000 in value if you had to replace them or if you had to buy them. So we'd like to donate those. The other thing that we have that we would be willing to donate use of is on the second page, the small animal items. These are used for poultry shows. These are pictures of bunnies because that's the only ones that we had. But you could use them for, in the past we used them for poultry or other items. So in all, it would be about $90,000, give or take, possibly a little more, depending on how you value the items, other items. We also have, I call them like the pig panels, but we have smaller 8-foot that we use for making like a small show arena. And we use those historically for the pigs. We would use them for like gateways and alleyways and things like that based on this setup that we think that we'll use inside this building. Part of that donation obviously would be we'd want to be able to use them on a continuous basis. Obviously, when we're having our achievement days, we think that the view of the future obviously is going to be some sort of actual fair or some actual county fair schedule that would involve 4-H, but would also possibly involve other open shows, FFA, breed shows, things like that. Hopefully that would be held by the Fair Association at the fairgrounds as a group, so that there would be other items for people to come and view as the public and learn about agriculture, livestock, etc. So we would want them to be open to other people as well, but we obviously want to use them first since that's where they originated from. Do you have questions? I don't know if you need to like vote. I assume you did.
I have a question on the term and termination. It says this
Sure.
MOU shall become effective on the first date written above and shall remain in effect for, you've got a term unless terminated earlier. What are your beliefs with that termination? Does that mean that the equipment then goes, the ownership moves back to 4-H, or just the MOU terminates and then the county retains ownership of that equipment? Because I think
Excuse
that
me.
needs to be spelled out in here.
Kurt Fraley, County Extension Agent. I put that together, and I guess I used some other samples to follow this. It has not had many, I guess their eyes have been on it. I think that's open for discussion. how that would be.
That's a big discussion that you
yeah,
guys need to have before you.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, and it needs to be ironed out, how that should be worded,
Yeah.
and I think that's why it's in yellow.
Okay.
Well, I think it would be very difficult to give it back. Once it's a donation, it's a donation. I can't imagine I don't really foresee any real problems where there should be.
Well, here's where I become a little concerned, though. They donate $90,000 to the park board, and then we don't really have any reasons in here that you could terminate. It just says you can terminate within 30 to 60 days. So they give you, I'm not accusing anyone of anything. They give you $90,000 worth of equipment, and you say, we're done with this MOU in 60 days. And maybe that's 4 months from now. I don't know.
Yep.
Like, there needs to be some protections or some things.
Even for them, yeah, on their side for sure too, yeah. Well, we can take the MOU under advisement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, quick question I have, where's this equipment currently stored?
Good question.
Currently, it's stored at the maintenance building at the facilities out there. Everything is in that building.
Already there.
It's already there.
Okay,
There is, on that list on the backside, there's some additional stuff that's not detailed out. There's some stuff that we use for a 4-H horse show, that's not on there.
So as this equipment would satisfy use for small animals, what's the plan going forward for the large animals?
Great question. So, 4-H has been in conversations with DSU and with Dickinson Public Schools about use of the Southwest CTE. In the past, some of these pig panels that we have were welded. This was way before my time, but my understanding was that DSU did some work with their welding program to help do that. I'm wrong. Kurt's shaking his head at me.
Dickinson High School.
Dickinson High School, okay, they helped weld that. So we thought that was a good idea. We have the CTE available, obviously, to the community. So we did meet with them to see if that's something that they would be interested in doing as a project. They loved the idea, but we would obviously need to continue to work that out with them. 4-H is happy to meet with them and discuss sizes and whatever they need to do. It's obviously not a manufacturing wing of the CTE, but they thought that it was a good project that they could work with the kids on to do a real life project that for the next 20 years they could go out there after they've graduated or whatnot and show their kids or show their friends, hey, I made this gate or whatever. That's why the welds are so bad, stuff like that. So working with them in collaboration. We also need to visit with the Fair Association group. Their next meeting is last Wednesday this month. So we will be meeting with them next about what their plans and visions are for other outfitting type things out there on who needs to do what, because obviously we have a plan of what we need at a minimum, but we want to make sure that we're looking at the maximum what ifs and who can kind of situation and making sure that everyone's on the same page before we decide that we need a whole bunch of 6-foot gates when a 7-foot might be better or those types of things. So
So in addition to, this is great, but how much additional, like if you were to go out and pay retail for all the additional paneling that you're gonna need for the large livestock, how much are you talking about here?
if we bought it all, we have got bids. If we bought it all new of the high quality, it's gonna be at least $100,000. But through materials and partnerships and working smart and being thoughtful with a plan, looking at just materials, and I don't have those prices, Clint had those, but working with the CTE to just build them slowly over time, I think would be fun and a good collaboration between a lot of different parties. If we as parents, if we need to have a cattle show there on Thursday this week, we would all just go out to our pastures and get our porter corral and throw them on the rack and drag them into town and set it up. So in the short term, it'll be fine and we can get it together. but we want to make sure that we have a long-term and working with some of those partnerships versus just going out and buying them or fundraising or asking someone else to do it, I think is more fun.
Brings the community in. It's a good thing. Utilize that, what they've got going on up there.
Yeah, and they liked the project because they were like, yeah, we're always looking for things to do. And this, to them, sounded like something they could do every year. So if they have 6 kids, they make 6 gates. If they have 10 kids, they make 10 gates. And just kind of work it through going forward. Because we also don't know what we don't know on how we're going to set it up and those types of things. So we might, going slow would probably be safer, I guess.
So, so I see, reading on this, the description of the donated equipment and the transfer of ownership as is. Is there any maintenance that is required on any of this right off the bat?
All of these in this picture are really nice.
Yeah, those, I call them the Triton pens, because that's where they came from. Unless they get bent, damaged, in transport setup process, they're
Really good.
really good.
So if they do get bent, damaged, and they're used and an animal is hurt, is the owner of the panels responsible for that? I don't know, I know
We-
there's always stuff at livestock at these shows, so.
Unfortunately, Corey, I've been in this game for 41 years now, and even before that, when I was a youth and showing animals, very seldom does that happen. It's not saying that it can't happen. Usually, it's the animal owner.
Okay.
It's a loss absorbed by them.
So my question in regard to the MOU is, would it not be simpler for you to maintain ownership of the equipment and grant the park board or the fair association the ability to use the product? Then we don't have to worry about termination, we don't have to worry about rights of termination and all that other good stuff. And so, I mean, it doesn't make any big difference to me, but it just seems that if we're worried about termination and that end of the deal, why don't we just say, here it is, you can use it with approval, and if someone wants to put on a livestock show, they come in front of your group and get authorization to do so.
For practical purposes, if I was going to go to host a livestock event, for example, McKinsey County, I would just call Chris at McKinsey County. He would send me the a la carte menu, essentially. Do you need picnic tables? Do you need folding chairs? Do you need a stage? Do you need sound equipment? Do you need pens, gates, hoses, all of those things? And it's like an a la carte rental menu. That's how pretty much everyone else operates it. So there's a one point of contact. Me as a user of a facility, if I had to come to Stark County and I had to call you to rent the building and I had to call you for setup and call you to rent my pens, I wouldn't. I would just call Chris back at McKinsey County and just deal with one person and get exactly what I need. So we don't want this to be accessible to us only, and we
Yeah.
also don't want people to jump through a bunch of hoops that would prevent them from having their pig and lamb sale or things that would benefit our members. So
On top of that, this was, initially we
Right.
talked about your skin in the game. here.
Right.
This
Yep.
is your skin. in
yeah,
the
so
game.
we committed to helping make sure that there was going to be things on the inside, but
Are you planning to fundraise going forward for the additional paneling we were talking about, manufacturing? Are you planning to fundraise for that?
once we sort out this, then we need to figure out what direction we need to take. We didn't want to go out and ask for anything, not knowing to a donor who would have ownership, who would have access, who would, because if they wanted to use it for their bull sale or whatever, we didn't want that to be preventative by them having to call all of these people to try to get something back that they feel like they have use of or access to.
I have two notes here, but just one practical question for you guys. That if I'm reading, I just want to make sure I'm reading the chart correctly. That there's actually 30 complete small animal pens, not tiny animals, but
Yeah, so
sheep,
these,
swine.
Obviously, you don't need 4 sides to make pens, you just need 4 on the first one and 3 on the rest, so we just count them in amount of pens versus amount of panels.
And does that, I assume, square with the numbers that you get at Achievement Days or the,
We have some of the old ones on there that the Dickinson High School welded together. They're just those galvanized sheep and hog panels, you know. We have a bunch of those. We dip into those quite often.
okay, in addition to
In
30
addition to,
setup
yes,
ones, so we might
yes.
need more at some point.
Yes.
For donation purposes, a question for Amanda, do we need to, on this exhibit, do we need to put a value on each item?
Sorry, what?
For donation purposes, I mean, they're looking at making a donation to the park board. Do we need to put some valuation on these items?
I'd have to look into it. I don't think so, but I'll look into it.
Okay, yeah, we weren't sure if we needed to write out a gift in kind or some sort of something.
My other general note is the right of first use. I feel like some of the things maybe need to be spelled out a little bit more. Other 4-H related activities can be, you know, anything, and then reasonable time frame. If the county wants to get, I mean, I am guessing that most of your use is gonna be in the summer when kids are show prepping and actually doing shows and things like that, but, to the extent that the county wants to get some sort of income out of this in the winter from other entities or groups, I think that would be beneficial to flesh that out a little bit.
Well, thank you for one, I mean, for participating in this whole project out there. That's awesome. I think we have a little bit of work to do with the MOU.
Yep.
But
Does that answer any questions so far?
I think so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We got 3 minutes until the bid opening. Do we want to move back to Parks Department structure and review report? I think that's kind of one and the same with the coordinator and assistant jobs.
Can we do the tractor? That
Sure.
wouldn't take long.
Yep. Tractor lease, I couldn't remember when we got the email if Lisa's the one that those discussions were generated from with the college.
I think it was the last meeting here, they'd requested just
Okay.
using the tractor for a couple months till theirs came in.
Okay. And it looks like a draft lease was circulated. Any discussion with that proposed lease? Bailey?
Hi, I had recently I've been in contact with Joe Schmidt, and he said that they have received their tractor. So I don't know if they are still needing hours, but that's just the conversation that I had with him, so just thought I'd let you know.
Yeah, so maybe we should table this and get confirmation from Joe
Hello?
if it's. Bernie?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was trying to talk earlier, and then didn't mean to interrupt this. Can somebody make sure that packet from 4-H ends up in my mailbox?
Yes.
Thank you. I didn't mean to interrupt, I'm trying to figure out how to unmute myself, I just figured it out now, so, sorry.
Do you want to contact Joe or do you want one of
I
us to-
can. Yeah, I need to contact him anyway, so I can ask him.
Okay, sounds good. So maybe we'll just table that unless anybody else has any other thoughts on it.
Can we conditionally approve it if we need to?
I guess one more thing, I mean, in the future, if anyone does need to lease it, maybe it would be beneficial to kind of have something like that to draft up, but,
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to you guys, so.
Yeah. Yeah, knowing that would need to adjust the lessors, lessees and the dates and all that relevant stuff. But, any thoughts on the lease itself?
we did this one time before, I think, didn't we?
Yeah, I think there was some discussion that I had with Todd too about, you know, when we were just more essentially borrowing it, you know, if there was something that wore out, who was responsible for it to fix it, so, and make sure that the county was responsible for the, like lubricants and stuff like that on it to keep it, the maintenance, so.
And
Right.
the important part being the indemnities, right? More than anything, probably.
And Amanda worked on it with him, I believe, too, so. with that lease agreement, or, yeah, so, and I think I'm fine with it.
Okay, so do we want to do a motion just to approve kind of the base lease agreement? And then if Bailey, if you determine that Joe does need it, I don't think we need an additional action to have him sign it and have the county sign it.
I'd make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign?
Aye.
All right. Okay, now it is 8:30 exactly. So we can move to bid opening for Southwest Speedway repairs.
Yes, I was volunteered.
Do we have sheets?
The
Sheets?
first one would be Zap Industries, and it looks like they have their, all of their paperwork in order. Let me look at something quick.
You say Zap?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that I got the class up for, because it doesn't look like this has one on here. Sorry, I should have had this up here. I'm gonna open this one, but I'm gonna put this one aside, because I gotta take a little bit on, a look on this one. All right. So ZAP, oh, they've got an electrical proposal, project information, scope of work. Pricing summary, the base proposal amount is $43,000.
Just for electrical.
I believe so, that's what it looks like.
How much was that, 48,000?
43, Bernie.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's just an electrical proposal. The scope of work, I can read it off if you'd like, or you guys can look at it. It's power distribution, lighting and lightning controls, branch circuit wiring, equipment connections, electrical panels and transformers, conduit and raceway systems, grounding and bonding, emergency and standby systems is their scope. All right. The next contractor is Menards Electric LLC.
What was the name of the contractor?
Menards, M-I-N-A-R-D-S Electric LLC. Okay. Their project bid is $300,000. And it is much more extensive than just the electrical. I don't know if you want me to go through it or if you guys just want to look at these. It's probably easier for you to just look at these.
Does it list bullet
Huh?
point what they are? At least is it electrical?
It has materials and labor to install a concrete retaining wall in front of the grandstands as a safety barrier and drain tile to control erosion behind the retaining wall to replace the deteriorating existing retaining wall. That amount was $151,405. Project 2 includes all materials and labor to install a valley gutter, approximately 475 feet by 5 feet to control runoff and erosion on the grandstand side of the racetrack. That bid was $61,200. Project 3 includes all materials and labors to remove approximately 30 existing 1500W metal electric high-lead light fixtures and replace with the new LED sport commercial industrial floodlight, $46,395. And then project bid 4 includes all materials and labor to repair and replace as needed the 4 and 6 foot chain link fence that is around the perimeter of the Motorsport Park grounds, install a new 40-foot wide DD cantilever, I don't know why I can't say that, gate set up at the south entrance to the Motorsport Park, $31,000. Project bidders bond $10,000 for a total of $300,000. Okay, the next one is Two's Construction. Okay, Two's final number looks like 230,000. And for that, they propose the following. Install a concrete retaining wall in front of the grandstands as a safety barrier and drain tile to control erosion behind the retaining wall to replace the deteriorating existing retaining wall. Install a valley gutter approximately 475 feet by 5 feet to control runoff and erosion on the grandstand side of the racetrack. Remove existing 30 1500 watt metal electric halide light fixtures and replace with new LED sport commercial industrial floodlights. Repair and replace where needed the 4 and 6 foot chain link fence around the perimeter of the Motorsport Park grounds. Install a new 40-foot wide DD cantilever gate set up at the south entrance to the Motorsport Park. They hereby propose to furnish materials, use tax, builder's risk insurance, and labor as indicated, complete in accordance with the above specifications for the sum of $230,000. All right, the last one is Wind Construction. Okay. Wynn's final number looks like $238,000, or $238,912. This is 3x12 continuous footing, looks like 475. 6x12 retaining wall with number 4 rebar, quantity 475. 1 evacuation and backfill, 1 drain tile behind retaining wall. 2,375 6-inch valley gutter with 4-inch rebar at 18 inches on center each way. 2,375 square foot, I guess, 6-inch fill sand. Remove existing 1,500 watt metal fixtures. Replace with new LED, sports, commercial, industrial floodlights. These lights are a direct one-of-one replacement, being a total quantity of 30 fixtures. These lights come with a laser pointer to help set the lights. Remove, install 50 foot of new fence along entry of east side. Fix, straighten, spot tie various locations around the motocross course. Any areas customer determines new materials should be used will incur additional charges. And then fix, straighten, spot tie various locations in the 4-foot tall and 6-foot tall fence around the speedway course. Any areas customer determines new materials should be used will incur additional charges. That's the overview of your bidders.
So the first ZAP just bid the electrical, is that what I understand?
Yeah, and I have to see if they have the correct license. This is gonna take me a minute, so I assume you guys are gonna take this under advisement anyways.
No, I think that'd be the prudent thing to do.
Here's the ones that I know are good.
Four.
Yeah, she's got the last one, I think, that she's reviewing.
Scope's not in this online package, is it? The scope is not in here, is it?
The work,
Correct.
it was right after the announcement of bids. I thought I saw it in there.
It's right after.
That page
It will be available
at the courthouse. That's all I have. I had,
Okay, in the packet with the 22 pages, Corey, it is page 11. So I don't know what version.
there it is. I got it.
This, what he's talking about? This? Okay.
Well, I think, I'll start the discussion. I think we need to take these under advisement. Amanda can deal with the technical issue of the questionable I don't know if I want to use questionable, but of that particular bid. Let every, you know, if we can get
Do we need to,
copies of those bids in front of everybody.
do we need to accept anything from ZAP at all? I mean, that's outside of the scope of what they bid. They bidded electrical only.
I guess that's up to you guys.
Yeah, so that's question, are we willing to take an individual on one item versus collective of all 4 items?
And I think if we were willing to do that, we would have done that last commission meeting.
Okay.
We had the
Yeah, I
discussion.
think it's simpler just to
Right.
one general and be done.
Okay,
Okay, if that's the way you're gonna go, then I'm not gonna put a bunch of time in this. I think you could make a motion right
Okay.
now that you're gonna be just looking at the.
I'll make that motion.
okay. That we'll take these under advisement, circulate the 3, the Maynard, the 2s, and the Win bids, right?
Correct.
All right, so I have a motion to take under advisement the 3 kind of all-encompassing bids that were proposed.
I'll second that.
Oh. We have a motion. Did you make the motion?
I did.
Okay,
Read it,
okay. Sorry. There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Any roll call vote or not?
I don't think so.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Pose same sign?
Aye.
I think Bernie was in favor.
Yes.
Okay. That is
Yes, I would.
Okay, thanks, Bernie. All right, that is approved.
So let's get those circulated so everybody can review them, and I think that makes sense.
All right, I've got the stack right here, but I don't want to be responsible for it. I'll lose something. Okay, are we okay to move on with that then? All right. Let's move on to Parks Department Structure and Review Report. I can talk about this a little bit. Bernie, you want to jump in? Is Joetta here? Oh, hi. Do you want to talk about your report, or do you just want me to go over it? Okay. Well, Joetta and Bernie and Bailey and myself met to discuss kind of the, I guess, absence that has been left by Lisa's departure and how we want to kind of structure that position moving forward. Bailey has been filling the role of Lisa the past few months, as well as her own jobs and also going to school full-time. And she's doing a really good job, but I think long-term, she wants to keep her options open. And so we need to come up with an acceptable job description and advertise for that full-time position. Joetta wrote up a report that kind of summarizes our discussion at that meeting. If anybody has any questions, I mean, we posed a bunch of questions. I don't know if we quite answered all of them, but I think it was our hope to get some kind of job description put together to define a very broad job that includes in-office, marketing, scheduling, all that stuff, plus an ability to be on-site, doing hands-on things, potentially needing someone who can operate a lawnmower, operate various pieces of light equipment, things like that. So I think this kind of bleeds into the next position, but our recommendation is to essentially keep Bailey at her part-time assistant and advertise for the full-time assistant, or excuse me, the full-time coordinator, with a recommendation that we increase Bailey's pay based on the added tasks that she is taking on until we get someone new. Not that we would reduce her after that point, but so Bailey's currently at $18.72 an hour. The proposed increase would be to $22.73 an hour. So at this point, I guess we need any discussion from everyone to first, I guess, maybe approve that increase and then review and approve the job description to advertise for the full-time position. Bernie, am I missing anything?
No, I think you covered it all quite well.
Thanks.
So Bailey, I'm sorry, she's currently
She's currently at, oh, her current title is, County Parks Assistant, right? Nothing's changed about her title. That's what she was last year. She's just been doing all of the additional stuff, that the coordinator was doing.
So,
Same wage we brought you in at, still. Still at the same wage that we brought you in at, right?
No, when you brought me in, it
Is
was
your, is Corey's microphone on?
I didn't want you to hear me, Bernie.
No, thank you.
Yeah, when you hired me as the intern for the intern position, I was, I believe, 17.
Okay. And how long you been in this position now?
I've been an intern, or the parks assistant since, I believe, possibly January of this past year,
25.
25.
Well, didn't
Or
you do
February.
1 year as an intern and then we,
Yep, the first summer as an intern, yep, and then over the winter,
right,
I mean,
okay.
you decided to
We created the
created
position
the
for
new
her.
Yep,
position,
yep.
so.
Thanks.
so I would say, I mean, I have no problem. I think that it's well-deserved, a bump in pay, but I would like to go back to the questions and discussion for clarification. You've got some questions here. So, for instance, what was the consensus about what's the Fair Association's role moving forward? Will Parks Department assume responsibility for renting facilities? I think we need to define that relationship between the Park Board and the Fair Association. I mean, if we just go carry on as business as usual, nothing's changed. So she's basically a dual employee. Is that what we're looking at right now?
Yeah, right now, basically, yep.
Yeah, I agree. That warrants further discussion. We didn't reach any conclusion.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's why we, kind of wanted to bring it to you guys too, so.
well, I mean, we still have some clarification. What is the Fair Association's role going forward? I mean, how much control are they gonna have of those fairgrounds facilities? I mean, currently, or in the past, we leased the property to them and they had full control over that property. It's been discussed, and I've brought it up multiple times, that I'd like to see the Park Board take a more active role in management of that property. And pare down the Fair Association's business to the county fair, to what their mission is.
Well, if we decide to hire someone for this position, they'd be employed by the park board. And so that puts the, it puts them back into the park board's hands. If that's the way it should have been before, Lisa was hired, she was paid by the park board. Should have been the park board's responsibility, but where the communication between the two entities split up with the leadership that was there, that's the way it is. But yeah, it is the park board's responsibility, I believe, and the Fair Association is basically just a group of different entities that use have interest in the use of the facility, and it should be more geared for fundraising and things like that. It is not their job to make sure that everything is being used in the way that it should be used. That should be a park board director's job.
And I agree, but I mean, going forward into looking into the job descriptions, it's pretty well laid out that Bailey's position would be responsible for the books, keeping up the minutes for the meetings, basically running the Fair Association, being their administrative person.
You mean the full-time position?
No, for the
It's
Fair
assistant.
Association.
For the Fair Association, I mean, I think that Bailey's, if you look at the job description that I looked at for her assistant, I mean, she's got, well, in addition to the director we're talking about, I mean, I feel that the Fair Association, I mean, if you pare down their duties just to the fair itself, I mean, do they really need our administrative help to do that? I mean, they're nonprofit. I mean, I've sat on nonprofit boards. I'd love to have a county employee do all our work for us. That'd be awesome.
Right now, I know what I should say. I totally agree with you there, but I do believe that the park board should be in charge of the facility and, making sure that the events are being coordinated.
I mean, if we're ever gonna go forward with a new mission for that fair association and, you know, achieve maximum usage of that facility, I mean, I agree. I mean, at some point, we're gonna need a director, we need a good, strong assistant. But at what point do we work, you know, stop working around the fair association, take ownership of this thing? And, you know,
We need to, I'm not arguing that point at all. That's the same point I was just trying to say.
I mean, I think we're in agreement on that, Bernie, like I said. So, but, I mean, there, in the job responsibilities, I mean, the Fair Association has mentioned, you know, there is still a very tight relationship drawn out in the job descriptions. Bailey, we're not trying to put you on the spot at
you're
all.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think to me, there's like 3 or 4 questions out here, and we can parcel some of those out. I think we definitely can take action on the county parks assistant salary package or the compensation. I think we can do that. The bigger question then, what's the relationship between the park board and the fair association? What is the county parks assistant's responsibility relationship out there? And then the parks director job description, that's in front of us, proposed job description, to me, looks like basically one and the same that it was previously done, other than you're adding some events coordination language, and that was hopefully part of what was being done. But I think there was a lot of concerns that was an underutilized position. That position went from part-time to full-time, and maybe Courtney can help, or somebody can help, but I believe 2017, 2018. And we really haven't added a lot of events out there since that time. And so part of the concern previously was, how do we maximize the utilization of the director's position? And that's why there was a look out or a reach out to having some conversations with what the city does. Not that proposal had any merit or went anywhere, but I don't want us just to do the same thing we've been doing. That's just my point, and I think what's in front of us outside of Bailey's scope here is that's what we would be doing.
And I got a question for Joetta. The event planner or event coordinator, I'm assuming that's the same position, right?
Yes.
Okay. And who's, in our job description, who does that person report to?
The commission portfolio, they'd have a portfolio holder.
Okay. And that's what it states, it's not like a park director or
This position?
the events coordinator position?
Yeah, they would be like the
Because it's not
department head.
it is a department head position?
They need a leader. I mean, the department would need someone to lead the department. You can call it a director. We were just taking it that this position was coordinating the Fair Association and the Park Board with each other. But if you want to move away from that, that's kind of the questions we had.
I look at the county parks assistant job itself. It's pretty encompassing. I mean, you're talking about even updating the websites. I mean, and then there's a lot to the job responsibilities for the county parks assistant. And if that county parks assistant can manage to get all of that done, why do we need a director?
Well, I think in Bailey's situation, I don't want to speak for you, but I think there's a general sense that maybe she can't get all of that done while trying to be just a part-time person.
Correct.
So the question would be, if you had 2 part-time positions and you split those responsibilities, would that accomplish that? Because then you would save 40 to 50,000 a year.
Yes.
If we did it like that, I think it would make sense then if you would have one kind of on-site maintenance type person and one in-office type person.
You know, going once, I mean, I don't want to backtrack here, but even going back to more questions for discussion, I think they're great questions for discussion. I mean, I think you guys hit on a lot of things here. I mean, we need to clarify responsibilities for the road department. I know it's been thrown out there multiple times. That'd be great if we could get the road department to buy in on this idea of maintaining those grounds, visiting with Wayne, at the buildings and ground and the weed control, as well.
And I think the county, the road department is on board. They're definitely a great team player for the county. There's ways that they can definitely track and maintain hours and utilization and have that cost coded back to Lana and them guys in the auditor's office.
Good.
So the cost can be captured under certain departments when they're doing work for them. So I think that's totally doable and easily done.
Yeah, and that person, this assistant would just coordinate with them, let them know what
Correct.
needs to be done. Same goes for Wayne. I mean, is Wayne here? I mean, have
Yep.
we got, I mean, you're good with this whole thought process going forward, Wayne? We're basically signing you up for some extra work. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I know I have a lot here and then, you know, stuff, I'm willing to help, but
It's
I
it's
can't take care of the whole property either, I mean.
We're talking
that's
about
all.
basically the buildings, if there's, I mean,
Yeah, I can do, yeah. far
It's
as
an
like-
expertise component, so if
Yeah.
there's a problem with the plumbing in the restrooms, you're the
Yeah.
go-to guy versus trying to expect Bailey to swap out a sink out there or something
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
as far as maintenance, that general stuff would be, and then I think with Todd too, willing to work.
And it's just coordinating together, right, to make things happen and then make sure that those costs are captured in the correct general ledger account that we have and make sure that they're, and I think talking to Lana and talking to Todd, that's being done currently, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no problem, like, yeah, maintenance side of things and doing, you know.
One other point in going back to the discussion of potentially, you know, the use of the Fairgrounds Association going forward. I mean, personally, Dustin and I were on the Fairgrounds Association. A lot of it, the hands-on stuff was working concessions for different events. I mean, I don't know if the commission wants to take that on. I'm assuming not. So if it were ever to be split into that, I don't know if it's a situation where the county decides to hire, you know, short-term employees for those situations, or maybe we just take that off the table and not provide that as a service for any events going forward.
I think this is an opportunity for the Fair Association to fundraise. I mean, we can work something out with the Fair Association where they have that exclusive right to run the concessions out there. I mean, that's, you know, I mean, we've got two different things we're talking about here, but going back to the Fair Association, I mean, we talked about, you know, their skin in the game on going forward and for capital improvements out there and fundraising things and making a focus of fundraising as a nonprofit for the fairgrounds. I mean, I would think that they would want to hang on to concessions as a revenue source for them.
So I think, I know we've had this discussion many times, and I don't want to get off, I just switch a little bit up here. I don't know if we've had a discussion with Bailey about progression as she's still in the university. This may not be her goal, right? So I don't want to keep putting her on. We hired her as an intern while she was in college. We brought her on out of the intern. I would propose that the $22.73 an hour, and also maybe put a position out for the summer for another intern for the summer months only, until we can kind of muscle through this and figure out what we want.
I like it. I'd second your motion.
Okay.
The only thing I'll say with that is if we are bringing someone else on, we should do it, we should get that description and add out as soon as possible, because I don't want it to sit for 3 months while things are ramping up and Bailey is struggling to do everything and try to do finals and things like that.
And I think one thing you're not recognizing, though, is Bailey is asking for a leader. She's not asking for another intern
I get
to
that.
try and, you know, tell them what to do when she's struggling with
And I'll reach out to you, Bailey, this week, by the end of the week, if you got some time, and we can have a discussion. Okay.
I think,
We said struggling too many times. I just want to say Bailey's been doing a great job. And
Yeah.
that we're just,
She's
I
done an
know that
awesome
this is
job.
ultimately not your long-term goal. So, yeah, but you've been doing a great job.
I guess
mean, we
one
could
thing
s-
too,
Go ahead.
sorry,
No, go
to clarify, I guess, you know, the park board hasn't, I don't think we've executed a lease with the Fair Association for the year, or maybe even last year. I'm not sure
Well,
where,
I asked this
where that got lost, so I think technically it is in our court at this point. And to me, this events coordinator is the coordinator of everything. It's the coordinator of Wayne, the road department, Bailey, the advertising. I mean, you need a coach on the field
Yeah.
to kind of run this thing. And I mean, if the Fair Association's not gonna be responsible for scheduling and all that stuff, the little bit of books that'll be for 3 events is gonna be even, I mean, I think this person will need to help them because, I mean, they're all volunteers. They come, you know, help when they can, but it's hard. They don't have the expertise to run QuickBooks or, you know, do all of those things. So I think that still needs to be part of the description, but I think it's gonna be a very, very small part of their job duties.
So the planner coordinator, same position, right? Okay.
Yes.
So, and I think we could possibly, you know, here it's February, we can probably start looking for an intern right away for this, the starting for May, right?
Absolutely. I mean, and we can, I mean, for further discussion, I mean, long-term vision for that department or the fairgrounds. I mean, you know, we're not into the 26 or 27 budget discussions yet. I mean, I think that, I mean, if we're really gonna go forward again with another coordinator and assistant and so on and so forth, and whatever our role is, or, you know, combined role with the Fair Association is, I mean,
Would you
what is
be-
the vision? I mean, is the
Yeah.
vision gonna continue as a rental facility? That's what we are right now, is a rental facility. Or do we have a vision of actually promoting that facility and bringing it to its maximum potential?
When is the projected completion of the 4-H building?
Probably April 30th.
Would you be willing to consider maybe an interim coordinator for the summer?
That would be my argument, is that that's when it's needed, and then we have 6 months of downtime, and then we have a coordinator who doesn't have a lot to do, you know, not a lot of hours.
Right, so you could.
So how would you attract a quality person to do that for 6 months a year?
That's the question. I
So-
mean, we could
Yeah, or-
try, you know,
Or
we
do
could
you-
see
or
if
do you
there's
contract that out,
somebody out there.
potentially, if you're looking at trying to economically do it, but that's my concern. If you get a full-time coordinator, events planner, we have a lot of downtime, and it's underutilized, and we're not getting our bang for our buck.
And we did have a lot of discussions. Go ahead, Bernie.
For those 6 months, they're supposed to be planning for the next summer anyway. It's just not, you don't start planning in May, you plan all winter long and trying to get different events coming in and getting into their schedules, because whatever it is you wanna bring in, probably got a schedule that doesn't fit your schedule. So I mean, there's a lot that can be done in the off-time months.
And I agree with you, Bernie, but I think what reflects in the past of what we saw, that's where some of the speculation comes from, right? So perception is reality. So
And I
reality is
agree-
a
and I
perception.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you that in the past, that person probably wasn't following up over the winter months to be taken care of. I think, you know, but
Can
I
I,
agree with Neil, on the 6 months, if you're gonna hire a quality person for 6 months at a time, I don't think that's gonna happen.
You could advertise it as part-time, and we
so
could do
go-
like we do the road department, so they work full-time in the summer, and then they go part-time in the winter.
let's just talk
Right.
about the leadership component here of this. I mean, we've got a board here park board here. I mean, this is where the leadership should come from. And, you know, Corey, for instance, okay, so at some point, we're talking about coordinating with, you know, two, possibly 3 other departments here. Road, buildings and ground, and possibly weed. okay? When it just, I mean, we could set the schedule up. I mean, this could happen in a day's time. All three department heads get together, start talking about the needs, the wants, when this needs to happen, how often does it need to be mowed, how often, whatever it is, what are the expectations set out for each and every one of these departments? And we could basically set the schedule for all those departments and what the expectations are. And I mean, Bailey can, you know, if something extra is needed, I mean, she's the eyes on the ground. She sees what's going on, if something extra. I mean, she can pick up the phone and call for extra help or whatever. But I think we could set out the schedule fairly easy and the expectations fairly easy. And I mean, I think, and on top of that, you can, you know, count on some leadership from this group as well.
Yeah. And I see both sides of it. And, you know, just looking back at when that role was filled previously, I know there was, I don't know, some contentious stuff back and forth between other departments, but I think everybody's willing to work together, plan and coordinate, bring on an additional head count for this summer. When the utilization of an individual, you know, if we got them full-time in the summer, part-time in the winter, what does that look like? Do we do like a kind of a layoff package? Do they get compensated separately or? or
They
what?
get the full benefit package,
Okay.
but they just work less hours in the winter.
Okay.
I mean,
I'd
can
like
we
to see what
agree,
that looks
can we
like.
agree that, you know, she needs help, and then we're talking about an additional person to manage 26. Now, I know 26 doesn't look great, but I mean, a lot of this can be discussed at budget time going forward. I think, I'll agree with Bernie, eventually we need a full-time person promoting that facility, if we're willing to support it. If we're willing to support it, and what support means is money. Are we willing to throw some money behind this operation and actually support and promote that project? I don't agree with having a full-time parks assistant or a parks director if we are not going to do that, because like I said, we're running a rental facility right now. If we want to promote it, that person needs to be that kind of person, and we need to throw the support behind that type of person, and that has not been agreed on. I would like to see that, but I'm one vote.
Well, we currently have a motion on the table for the other part-time position. I think we should act on that.
Right. Right, before we forget about it.
Yeah, and get that going. I have other comments. Let's act on this motion, and then we can.
So the raise, it was actually a motion for a raise for Bailey and an assistant as well?
Correct.
Yeah.
So do you want
For
to,
a second assistant, or second part-time,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
And
want to modify the motion, or is that the motion?
no, that's the motion to raise Bailey up to $22.73 an hour and bring on an intern as well, starting in May.
And I had a second.
How much are you gonna pay her, or him?
Him or her, it's gonna be, we'll go off the guidelines that we did last time when we brought Bailey in. We still have
And
that.
is Bailey's gonna be this person's boss person then, or how are we gonna divide that responsibility up?
It will be, I guess, we'll have to sit down, we'll, and get with Bailey. I'll chat with her this week and see what the scope is, what she foresees. I mean, Bailey was brought on in a broad thing. It wasn't just to help mow grass. When she did her intern position is to kind of learn every aspect of that
Right.
job. So,
Right.
and at that point, it might be just an administrator somewhere within the courthouse.
I guess, what are you looking at for the intern? What are they doing? Because the intent of the intern was to learn what the event planner coordinator does. And I don't foresee
Right.
Bailey having time to teach somebody how to do all this and show them.
I saw Bailey out there working all by herself when she was an intern, doing her thing, right? Simple direction was given to her. She did it just
Additional
fine.
help on the
I
side.
foresee this intern helping Bailey accomplish her job.
Yeah.
It's two people for one job. I mean, she can't be expected to be out there 24/7.
Nope.
They're gonna have to split hours, so that one job, that assistant job can get done. I mean, and I would even go far, I mean, some of the job descriptions on the assistant updating website and whatnot, I'm not necessarily sure that's would be, I mean.
It's on the main
Well-
job description. She's just a backup, but you can take it off.
Well,
And that
'cause
was for
we have-
Fairgrounds
I mean, like I
Association.
said, we are, kind of moving forward with an idea that things are going to change for that 27 budget season, but we're trying to get through 26, and I don't want to heap on her or the new intern that they have to update websites and so on and so forth. I mean, we have other staff. I mean, you update websites.
Yeah, it's not the Stark County website, it's the Fair Association's
Well,
website.
once again, not even our website.
But they were, I don't know, I think her position was originally created to be the Fair Association's liaison to the county and take care of those things for, like he stated, a volunteer group that doesn't, I don't know. Going back to the original,
Well, the volunteer group that scope of work expanded way outside their mission. Way outside their mission. They were never, the Fair Association should never have been given that facility to run 100% of the year. That's the park board's job. Fair Association's to put the fair on. So, I mean, pare it down to 3 or 4
And
weeks.
I agree with you, that we need to take that back and get a strong leader in there and make that thing happen, what we want to happen. If we're gonna be kicking the can down the road, we're gonna end up the same way. Eventually, we're gonna have another speedway that we're gonna be looking at.
I think, Bernie, I think we actually are agreeing on some things here. And I hate to use the word term kicking the can down the road. I think we're planning on, solidifying the position here for the 27 year, trying to get through 26.
But I mean, why do we want to wait another whole year for this?
I don't think if you started advertising today for a coordinator, boots on the ground is probably, we're past the window of doing a lot of these events. So I think we can get accomplished for 26 what we can with two individuals.
The conventions were all held in November, Lisa left in September. In November is when this person should have been out in the conventions and learning and making the contacts and everything else. You hire somebody now, they have a year to, I mean, I guess, I don't know, I hate to see us procrastinate with this any longer.
Well, but budgets discussions start in June, or at least they should. And we could, I think we could probably have someone probably in the hopper and hired.
So do you
by
want the
next November.
intern position advertised as like a summer position with an end date on it of, end of August, September 1?
So,
Till end of events out at the facility,
which is
usually in
September?
October.
September, October, yeah.
So then, my understanding would be that this intern position, coupled with Bailey, it would be kind of a test, feel out where the needs are, what we actually need to do, and then advertise accordingly for whether it's a full-time position or a permanent part-time position starting October 1st.
Yeah, I think you could technically advertise, like Joetta said, you could technically advertise for an intern director, because what I don't want is us making a commitment that we're gonna do the things the way we were doing them, because that wasn't successful. So, but let's get these two individuals moving forward, these two positions right now, and then we can figure out what to do as far as event coordinator.
Yeah, and I don't want to pick that apart, but I just want, are you saying intern or interim? 'Cause two
Intern,
different things.
intern.
Intern.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get a different pool of candidates,
Sure.
no matter
Intern.
how you word it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so the motion is to raise Bailey's hourly rate to $22.73 per hour and to advertise for an intern. That would, specific details are going to have to be hammered out, not in a motion, but potentially for the season that the fairgrounds is active.
Or, not to try to be difficult here, but basically we could just advertise for another park, what's her?
assistant.
County Parks assistant. We could have 2 county parks assistant.
Okay.
And versus calling it an intern, that gives it a different look altogether. And like I said, I think ultimately, these two people, Bailey and this other person.
Go ahead,
Who are
Bernie.
these people's assistants to? Who are these people being assistants to?
The park board.
They're assistant together. Okay, okay, all right, fine.
Okay, so the new motion,
No, I'll stay with my motion.
okay.
I think that
Do you want me
gets
to
it. I
restate it?
think it
or
gets
it's
it
been
done.
stated? Okay. All right. All those in, or any other discussion? All those in favor, say
Probably need to
aye.
do roll call vote since we're spending money.
Okay. Paul?
Aye.
Dean?
Aye.
Dustin?
I'll abstain.
Bernie?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Corey?
Aye.
All right. And that was both of those agenda items. So we can move on to the Old Crow's Nest.
Thank you, Joetta.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Bailey.
Okay, the guys from Bowman, are interested in our old crow's nest, which just sort of sits there in the way anyway. We've trying to decide what to do with it or where to move it to. I guess I'd be in favor of if they want to come and get it, just come and get it.
Do we have a use for it out there?
Do we have a use for it out at the Speedway?
No.
No?
And it's really not, I mean, it's dirty, but I mean, if we move it from place to place, eventually it's just gonna get, like anything else that's not used, gets deteriorates.
My only question is, what's the long-term layout for out there? Do you need like a fair office or a check-in, or would you use it 2 years from now if you had more events? Obviously not how high up it is, but
My understanding is that whole North Arena has been dismantled, moved to a practice pen that would have absolutely no use for a crow's nest because the office is right there.
right. So would you use that building is what I'm saying for another office?
The
Like if,
crow's nest,
Not as an office.
I think
don't
it's in
know.
pretty
Or
tough
storage.
shape the way
Okay.
it is, so.
yeah.
that was our only question. Thank you.
Yep.
To be fully transparent, I think the motocross group would absolutely, if it's available for free, would take it. Their flag stand and whatnot blew down a couple years ago in one of the storms, so we could put that up and rebuild the flag stand underneath. So, second question, I guess we can finish this first.
I guess if the Speedway people want it, I guess I have no problem with that either. Whatever the park board decides to do with it is fine with me.
Okay.
Would the road department be able to move it to the Speedway?
We can get
Would- Okay, yeah, I
It's,
think we need to set a date to have that eyesore.
John?
Yeah, and I would not
So
want
how
us to be in
about,
charge of moving
how
it.
about by the end of construction in April on that building?
well, you gotta get frost out of the ground because those pillars are in the ground there
Yep.
ways, so. That might be too small a short a window, but May 15th, I think, is realistic, Corey.
Okay. Do we need to make a motion on that, or I mean, it's just us transferring it over to another property? Okay.
Well, are we gonna transfer it? I would have hesitations about us physically being the ones to move it.
Oh, no, we'll
Falls
find
apart.
somebody to transport it.
They've
And whoever wants
They've
it needs
agreed
to
that they'll move
transport
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And get you a truck too.
Get it done.
they might need help digging it.
Yeah.
I know.
I have a question on the bids there. We're doing under advisement. Are we gonna put this off for another month or what's the plan here?
To be honest, that was my question, just
Yeah.
because the group, before they go spend money and lawyer fees and whatnot and getting everything rolling on their end, is that another month out, or how does that process work?
Well, we're potentially gonna be looking at maybe having a county commission meeting somewhere around the 19th, that Thursday.
This one?
Yeah, so in 2 weeks and 2 days, we could
There's one.
potentially do an add-on for the park as well. Subject
I'd
to the
say
chairs.
if we're not gonna go ahead with these bids, I think we should look at selling the property.
Well, that was one of the things I was gonna say is we talked about potentially advertising it for sale simultaneously, then we would have both potential, if any, sales proposal in front of us in addition to repairs. But I don't know if we advertise something for sale, can you do that in 2 days and 2 weeks and 2 days?
I thought originally when, this was a couple of years ago, we had talked, it has to go to public auction. I didn't think it was.
Yeah, you
I,
open it up
I
for
don't know
public.
the technical part of it.
That's what I was told back then, a couple of
Okay.
years ago.
Public auction talks about resolution of county commissioners authorizing the sale of county property at public sale. You can transfer real property by non-exclusive listing agreements. So as an alternative to public sale, the Board of County Commissioners may by resolution describe the real property which is to be sold, provide a maximum rate of fee, compensation, commission. Provide that the county reserves the right to reject any and all offers determined to be insufficient.
So we could advertise it for public bid for a meeting we have on 2 weeks.
I would hate to see it go to a public bid. I mean, if that's truly, if you guys want to get rid of it, the nonprofit group, just donating it to a non-profit group and assigning the value of that, I mean, it doesn't need to go away for this community. And if it does get sold, that's most likely what's going to happen.
And I understand that, Brad, and partially agree with you. What I'm saying is we've put out bids in excess of $230,000. So you look at that, but we have an unknown if some group locally or individual locally wants to come up and step up and continue the process. Personally, I'd like to have both of those sets of information in front of me before I make a decision, because you're kind of closing one eye and looking at this information or these bids.
So what's our timeline with having the bids under advisement? When do they need to be accepted or
Well,
rejected?
that's why I mentioned we potentially have a meeting on the 19th. We could do it at the same time if you're the chair, willing to have another meeting that day and act on them at that point, to include potentially advertising it for bid.
Yeah, February 19th.
19th?
I'm open on those days, whatever.
You want everybody that's looking at being on the future board to be at that meeting? So you guys can meet them, or is this kind of null and void right now?
As far as,
Like where you guys are looking at moving forward with this?
well, my personal perspective was, none of us have seen the details of the bid, so you take them under advisement, everybody gets a look at the bid packet. Would it be prudent to take a look at potential offer or bids at that same time, so then we can act on it? We either go the way of repairs, do nothing, or potentially sell or donate, whatever, at that point. I don't think we have enough information to make a good decision at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that if that's something that we're considering, we should have all of that and make the decision at the same time. Personally, I'm out of state on February 19th for work. I don't know if you want to have Dustin be interim chair that day, or if somebody else can take the reins.
I was just mentioning what we're potentially doing at the county commission.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. No,
I
think it's a
guess
good idea.
if you do put it for sale, is there any stipulations on it has to stay what it is for community events, or is it wash your hands and you're done with this whole program?
I'm guessing Amanda probably has some reservations about.
If you, I mean, I suppose it depends on, if you guys are gonna sell it, I don't know how you're gonna
To tell
put
somebody.
stipulations on
Right,
what
right.
No.
Yeah.
Do that.
Okay, do we want to then, I mean, are you okay with proceeding in that route without me at the meeting, is what, I guess, maybe.
Kind of your discretion. Can you zoom in that day or no? Pretty
I
tough.
mean, I'm at a meeting in San Antonio, the schedule has not been sent out yet, but potentially.
Well, you could wait later too, but I just said we're probably having a commission meeting on the 19th, provided everybody can show up. And I just thought piggybacking on that would make sense.
Yeah, well, and that's why I ask about
Yeah.
the bid timeline, if it had to wait, but,
You gotta move forward with this. I think either we accept the repairs or sell the property? We gotta do something there.
Well, I'll make a motion that we advertise for bids, open those bids on the 19th, and in the meantime, between now and the 19th, we review the repair proposals in front of us. So we have that information in front of us on the 19th.
So would that be considered like a special
Yeah,
meeting? Okay. And it would be same time, 8 a.m.?
whatever works, yeah.
Okay. Well, if it's a flexible time, I can,
Okay, because
if
we
you're okay
would,
moving it to like the afternoon or something, I can definitely zoom in.
yeah, because,
I think our meetings are 8 to noon that day, so I don't have the
Okay.
final schedule that says what's when.
I guess I would defer to the rest of our county
I'm okay
commission,
with
what,
that.
what schedule works.
I'm always the first thing in the morning kind of guy. so-
Yeah,
I
I know.
But I mean, to accommodate her, I'd be
yeah,
willing to
I'd
do
be
that.
willing to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Tell me what you guys want, you wanna open, discuss these bids and then what else?
Well, review the bids and potentially entertain bids for sale.
So we'd have to advertise for that now. Okay.
Well, if you're gonna do, okay, so if you're looking at the alternative to the public sale, right, then you can do these non-exclusive listings, and in those, it looks like you can,
So they have this microphone on.
yeah, you can reserve the right to reject any of those. But if you're doing like a public sale at the office of the county auditor, the property advertised shall be sold to the highest bidder if the highest bid is deemed sufficient by a majority of the members of the Board of County Commissioners. So if you guys are probably gonna have to figure out a price that's gonna be sufficient for all of you. If that price gets reached, you have to sell it. If you go by these non-exclusive listing agents, you have the right to refuse those. So I think you gotta have some idea of how you're looking at selling this.
Well, first of
Sorry, I
all,
just made things a lot more
we don't need
complicated.
we don't need a third-party, non-exclusive brokerage involved. We know there's interest. We're basically needing to find out what that number is. And at that point, no matter what the number is, I don't think we should be setting a price, because I don't think we have enough information to do that. I think we say, just like we did with the semi-trucks, we're advertising them, X truck, come in and,
This is what the minimal bid is?
if acceptable, you sell them. If not acceptable, you reject the bid.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but it says it has to be sold to the highest bidder if the highest bid is deemed sufficient by a majority of the members of the Board of County Commissioners. So,
Can we set a minimum bid starting?
yes, I
Okay.
think you can. And my point on that is, I'm saying like, if you get somewhere and then you guys don't, you decide you don't want to, and then you reject it, you can't do that under that bidding
Correct.
process.
That makes
So,
sense.
Does that make sense? Am I explaining that correctly?
And
Could the donation option be on the table at that point as well, since it was discussed?
The,
Oops, excuse me.
the what process, the what?
The donation option. So let's say you advertise it for bids for sale and the bid is unacceptable. And then you look at the repair bids and you say, that's unacceptable. We don't have the funds to that. Could we just have a donation to the new group as an option? I mean, I'm not necessarily in favor of it. I want to kind of recap some of the investments, but I think we need clarification on that.
I was hesitant to bring it, we're looking at, so we have $230,000 bid in front of us. That's with no contingencies, right? Who knows what they're gonna find when they start this project, actually, so. I am not in a huge hurry to start giving away county property, but at the same time, I would like to see the Speedway. I don't necessarily wanna be in the racing business, but at the same time, I wanna see them to continue their project out there and have a Speedway for, the community. I think it's a good thing. Where my whole thing with
Can
this.
you talk closer to the microphone, Paul?
Sorry, Bernie. Anyway, Neil had just brought up this donation thing. To stay in business, we're gonna probably have to spend nearly $300,000. Which, I don't know how that sounds. I'm scared of that $300,000 because I think it ends up being more. I think 5 years down the road, I think it's more. I think it's something else is gonna come up, and we're gonna be put on the hook for that as well.
It's no different than any other facility, the fairgrounds, you guys are building a 4-H building, you can't own something and never,
Improve it.
you can't just stop. You said it, we
Yeah.
don't need this to be another fairground, or another speedway, I don't know if Bernie said it, who said it, that's reality, you can't just stop. You can't own a house and not replace your siding if the wind blows it off. That's the reality of what's happened the last 10 years up there.
Yep.
Well, I guess, you know, you could take that to a multiple of levels. Every community, every organization that is out there could say, hey, we're a community organized or community orientated organization. You need to give us money to do this or do that. So we have to do what's in the best interest of the county taxpayers.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It hasn't been done is why that dollar value is there. And if you get your money back by the donation, you set the value of 300,000 is what you're donating, or $500,000, that's how you get your money back. Don't let this thing go away for the community. That's strictly bullshit on all you guys.
Well, we're trying to figure out a way forward, being most responsible to the taxpayer as well.
I've pissed away 5 years of my life keeping it open for everybody of this community. Pissing away a lot of my personal wealth.
Appreciate that.
Well, is there any appetite for the whole discussion of donating the property?
Well, then we get into like anti-gifting, constitutional provisions, all of those things. So there's a whole lot of layers to that before we can look at that too.
Okay.
I guess I'm not in favor of on the 20th or the 19th of having a special meeting for the sale of the property. I would first like to go through these and see what these 3 bids that we got today from Win, Twos, and Menards. Menards. And we'll just kind of go in progression of how we've had the discussion of selling, put it up. It's always been in the back of our minds. We got some projections from individual contractors. Then we decided to go with one general contractor. We've done that. I guess maybe after we do some research of what our options are, what would best suit the county, whether it's a sale on the steps, donation, or, you know, putting something out for bid with a minimum bidding price start. But so I think some research needs to be put into that before we, and have something put in front of us before we do that, even before the 19th.
Does anyone have any understanding, and maybe Neil, you're the best person for this since you're in commercial real estate, but what's the value of the place as is?
Show me a comp and I'll give you a value. There are no comps, that's the deal. And you try to establish value by either comps or replacement or depreciated value. I'm sorry, that's not my lane of expertise. So I can tell you what the land's worth without any improvements, but there's improvements out there, significant improvements. And I too would not want to see it go away, but I can tell you, Brad, that the vast majority of the comments I get in regarding to this topic is that they are opposed to spending a bunch of money out there, because at one point, you know, it was kind of self-sufficient down years ago prior to your getting involved, and that would be the ultimate goal, is to make it self-sufficient so that the events, you know, the gate.
Self-sufficient because they didn't spend any money on maintenance and upgrades.
Well, I think they might argue that. I've brought that point up in the previous groups. Okay.
Because I've been out there.
I think Neil, you had started a motion, or?
I started an emotion, it kind of fizzled and died, but.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
If we're not, I mean, we have to make a determination whether we want to entertain, it sounds like we're complicating the potential of opening it for bids. That's unfortunate. So we're going to go to we're going to take these under advisement, we're going to go to a future meeting, and we're still not going to have options. We're going to have one option, 2 options, either repair it or don't repair it. And I don't think that's fiscally responsible on our part to do that. So I withdraw my motion if the second would withdraw.
I don't know what, Amanda, your schedule's like, but maybe before our next meeting, can we get maybe just some ideas of what our options are?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
And is that something that we would want to have that February 19th meeting just to open, to discuss these bids and discuss options without having, you know, an actual bid of a public auction type sale, but to just either know what we're up against if we want to reject these and go that route?
Well, I can just write you a legal opinion. If you're gonna have a special meeting, I mean, I suppose you're gonna have to come in here and either reject or accept the bids or go another direction. So you might as well know what your options are
Right.
before you start making those decisions, I guess. I don't know. That's up to you guys. You guys do what you want.
Yeah, I agree that if we had that meeting to discuss it, it would be very beneficial to have those options in advance in case we have,
Yeah.
we can take the time to review them and then generate questions for you at the meeting. My rough schedule is 8 to 12:30 Central that day, so it would have to be after 11:30 Mountain.
2 o'clock special meeting type thing.
1 or 2 o'clock is fine, yeah.
Yeah.
If it works
On
for.
which day?
February 19th.
19th.
As long as you tell me what time you wanna do it, I'll get it in my calendar.
2 o'clock Mountain. Do we need a motion to set the meeting?
I think you can call it as the
Okay.
chair.
All right, well, I will schedule that. We'll call a meeting, special park board meeting at 2 PM Mountain Time on February 19th to discuss options going forward with the Speedway.
Was there
Coming
s-
back, do we need to do have some kind of motion for the old Crow's Nest? We didn't do anything there, we just kind of shifted.
It's county property, we're just moving it to another property.
Okay. All right. Nothing else? Next regular meeting date will be March 3rd then, same time as normal. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved.
Motion and Corey
Second.
second? Neil second?